Today's video is a wedding sampler in a box frame. Now in this wedding sampler we are going to need the following. You need 2 different colours for your balloons, and obviously we can double this one up for the stitch people. We have got black to make the arms and the legs, which you'll be wrapping around the wire. So you'll need some wire cutters, scissors, needle, your stitch marker. I always use a 2mm hook and I always do mine in cotton. I just find that the stitches are a lot tighter. And this is just some netting that I got as a sample on a wedding veil material, so you can pick those up on eBay for about 99p. And of course our box frame to put it all in. Now we're going to start making one of the balloons, so we need our white cotton or the brown, whichever colour you choose, and we're going to do a magic circle. So we wrap the yarn around your finger twice, so the second time you go around you go on the left of it. You're going to go under the first one and pull it up through, and then you're going to grab the tail end of the yarn and pull it through. So that's how we start our magic circle, and we're going to do 6 single crochets in there like so. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and it's on this last one we need to pop the stitch marker in. It goes in like so, and if you get a bunched up bit this end, you need to pull gently on this part of the loop, the other end. So as you can see, you give it a little tug and it makes it all neat again. And then to close up the loop we pull the tail end like so. Right, now for row 2 we need to do an increase into every stitch. So you've got 6 stitches on there at the moment. We're going to go into this first one and join them together. So you pull your thread through, and with this cotton it's got quite a few threads in it, so you need to make sure you pick all of them up. So that's 1, and again through the same hole for your increase, and that's 2 like so. Make sure we get all those threads in, and you just need to work your way around to all 6 of them, so you're going to end up with 12 stitches. 1, 2, 5 and 6, this would be 7 and 8, 9 and 10 in this one, and we take the stitch marker out for the last one, which will be your 11 and 12 in here. And the same stitch for number 12. And pop our stitch marker back in like so. Row 3 we're going to do 1 single crochet and then an increase. So we go in this first one here and we just put 1 stitch in there, and the next one is going to be your increase, so we're going to put 2 in this one. And then we're back to a single crochet and then an increase in the next one, single crochet, and then an increase, crochet, another increase. And just keep working your way around until you get back to your stitch marker. Single and increase. So underneath our stitch marker is our increase for the last one. Like so. Now row 4, we're just going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch, so you're going to end up with 18 that's already on there at the moment. So 1 single crochet all the way around. So I'll let you carry on if you want to pause the video, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Now we're on row 5, so we're going to do 2 single crochets and then an increase in the following stitch. So we have 1, 2, and in this next one here we're going to do 2 stitches, so that's our increase. Like so. So you need to carry on 2 singles, then an increase all the way around, and I'll meet you back at your stitch marker. Now round 6 is another single crochet round, so we're going to do single crochets all the way, so there's 24 on there at the moment. So if you want to make a start, and I will meet you back at your stitch marker. Okay, on to row 7. We are now on the 3 single crochets followed by your increase, and this is going to be the last time you're going to be doing your increase. You've got 1, 2, 3, followed by your increase. So it's 2 stitches in this next one here. Come through one. Oh, I don't like that one. Let's do that one again. There you go, 1 and 2. Then I'll let you carry on going around, 3 singles and then an increase. I'll meet you back at your stitch marker. Right, now you've got 30 stitches on your work at the moment. So row 8, we're just going to do 30 single crochets all the way around. So I'm going to leave you to do that, and I'll meet you back at your stitch marker. Okay, we're at the fullermost point of the balloon now, so we're going to do everything in reverse. So for row 9, we are going to do 3 single crochets and then a decrease. So we're going to make it smaller again. So we have 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do an invisible decrease. So we need to pick up the front loops of the next 2 stitches. So that's 1, and then I find if you twist your hook round and then hook it back up through the middle, you have both 2 stitches on your hook. You're going to yarn over and bring it through both of those. Give it a gentle wiggle, so that's what we have, and then we're going to finish a stitch. So that is your decrease, and then you go on to the next one for your 3 single crochets to carry on, followed by your decrease. So that's 2 and 3, and I'll do one more decrease with you, and then I'll let you carry on. So you're going to pick up the front 2 loops of these stitches. 1, get that top one out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. 2, yarn over, wriggle it through both, yarn over and pull it through. There we have it. Decrease. So carry on with 3 single crochets and a decrease, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Row 10, we're going to do single crochets all the way around. So at the moment you've got 24 single crochets on your work. So if you want to carry on round after you've done your 24, I'll see you back at the stitch marker. Now we're on row 11, where we are going to do 2 single crochets and then another decrease. That's 1, 2, and another decrease. So we're going to pick up these front loops here, like so, pull the yarn through them both and finish the stitch, like so. So I'll let you carry on, 2 stitches followed by a decrease, and I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Now onto row 12, we're back to our single crochet into every stitch, like so, and there's going to be 18 single crochets on there now. So I'll let you carry on, meet you back at the stitch marker. Now row 13, we are on 1 single crochet and then your decrease, so it's getting a lot smaller now. So there's 1 single crochet, and then the next one is going to be our decrease, like so. Make sure you get all of the pieces of thread like that, and then you just carry on 1 single crochet followed by a decrease, and I will meet you back at your stitch marker. Now row 14 is back to 1 single crochet into each stitch, and you should have 12 stitches at the moment. So just work your way around. It's going to get a bit fiddly because you're getting into a smaller gap. So if you carry on, I will meet you back at your stitch marker. So now you need to stuff your balloon, but unfortunately my video didn't record on this, so you need to fill it with your polyfill stuffing or your scrap bits of wool, anything that you want to use to stuff the balloon. And once you have stuffed your balloon, you are going straight in to row 15. Again, this didn't catch on my video, I'm very sorry. And you're going to do 6 decreases all the way round, so your 12 stitches will end up as 6. And then once you've finished your decreases, I will meet you there back at the video. The last row is row 16. We are going to be doing 1 single crochet in every stitch. So you've only got 6 stitches there. So I'll do the first one with you, and I'll meet you back at your stitch marker and show you how to finish it all off. Right, I've just finished my last one, so that's all 6 done. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut off a decent amount of thread, because obviously we want it to have the loop on the balloon, and then we pull that through. We thread our needle like so, and then in the next stitch here we're just going to pull it up and through, so it's kind of like a slip stitch there, and we're going to go back through and we're going to tie the balloon up now. So we want to pull the thread back through this section here like so, and we're going to wrap it around quite tight about 3 times and then go all the way through, so that's going to hold it in place like so. Give it a tug and then go through another section, but you're going to bring it back through the middle of the balloon as if you've blown it up like so. It's tight. There we go. And give that a tug. We'll get rid of our needle. We don't need that anymore. So there we have our balloon as if it's tied up. And you're going to want to make probably about 8 balloons, maybe 7. See how you go. Okay, I've just finished the rest of mine. I've gone for 7 in the end, 3 white and 4 of the beigey colour. So I'm going to put those to one side, and we're going to be now working on the stick people. Okay, with the stick people we're going to start with the head. So we need another magic circle. So you wrap it around twice, pull it through, and that's the beginning of your magic circle. So we're going to want 6 single crochets into here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, that's number 6. Again, pop our stitch marker in. Now I'm going to tidy this section up a bit. So we're going to tug on this end of the hoop, like so. And it's just made it a bit neater. And then we close the hole, like so. Okay, now we're going to go into round 2. So we're going to do an increase in each stitch, just like we did with the balloon. So every stitch has 2 single crochets in it. Whoops. Didn't want that to happen, did I? Let's do that one again. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take the stitch marker out for your last one, which makes your 11 and 12. And 12. So let's pop this one back in, like so. Okay, round 3, we're going to do 1 increase followed by a single crochet all the way around. So I've got 1, 2 in that first stitch, and then 1 single crochet. Repeat that all the way around, so 2 in this next one, and then a single crochet, and I'll meet you back at your stitch marker. On to row 4, we've got an increase in the first stitch. So we have 1, 2, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 in the first one here, and 1 in the next one. So repeat that pattern all the way around. So you've got an increase, so that's 2 in the same stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2, and I'll let you carry on. I'll meet you back under the stitch marker. Now for row 5, we're just going to do 1 single crochet into every stitch, and you should have a total of 24 on your piece of work at the moment. So just carry on all the way around with just 1 single crochet into every single stitch. And I'll meet you back under the stitch marker. Now row 6, we're going to do another increase round. So we're going to do an increase and then 3 single crochets. So this first stitch here will be our increase. 1, 2, followed by 3 1 single crochets. 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to carry on round with the same pattern, increase and then 3 single crochets all the way around, I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Now you've got 30 stitches on your work at the moment, so for rows 7, 8 and 9 we are going to do 1 single crochet into each stitch. So you have got 3 rows of just single crochets all the way around. Always remember to replace your stitch marker when you've finished each round so you can keep an eye on which row you're on. And I will see you back here at row 10. Okay, we're now on row 10. So we're going to decrease and then do 3 single crochets. So an invisible decrease again is up through the first loop and the second stitch. Pull it through both of those and then yarn over and pull through. So that is one decrease, and then we're going to do three single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3. So everything's in reverse. So now we're going to do another decrease to start off with, like so. And then we're going to have, oh, I've dropped a thread there. There we go. And then we're going to have 3 single crochets. So we've got 1, 2, and 3. So if you want to carry on, 1 decrease, 3 single crochets. I'll meet you back at the stitch marker. Row 11, we're going to do a decrease followed by 2 single crochets. So the same as the row before, we're starting off with a decrease to an invisible one, like so, and then 2 single crochets. 1, 2, and you're going to follow that pattern all the way around, decrease followed by 2 single crochets. Right, so before we go any further, we're going to put some stuffing in this head, like so. And then we are going on to row 12, which is a decrease followed by 1 single crochet. So we're picking up these front loops of the next 2 stitches. And there's your decrease, and the next one is your single crochet, like so. Remember to try and keep it fairly tight because we're closing the hole up now. So if you carry on, 1 decrease, 1 single crochet. Now row 13 is going to be your last round. We're just going to decrease all the way around. So in every stitch we're going to be decreasing. So front loops again, like so. So if you carry around, I'll finish up with you where the stitch marker is. Okay, now I've just come to the end of those 6 decreases, and I'm going to cut a length of yarn like so. We are going to pull it through, and we're going to close the hole up finally. So we need to thread our needle, like so, and then we're going to pick up every stitch. So it's the front loop. So we have 1, 2, where did I go? 3, 4, 5, and the last one's up here. This is number 6, like so. And we're going to then give it a tug, pushing the work away, like so. And then we just lose our thread through the middle. And there we have the head. Let's just cut that off because we're going to use the yarn from the body to sew it on. So that's that one. Okay, now for the body, we're going to do 6 single crochets in a magic circle again. So we just do our magic circle. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, oh, lost a bit of yarn there, 4, take him back out and start again. So we're on 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Pop our magic marker back in. And then we're going to tidy it up and then pull it tight. So we're going to tidy it from that end and pull it tight from that end, like so. Row 2 is our increase round, so we're going to do 2 stitches into every stitch. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then we need to remove our stitch marker for 11 and 12. And number 12. Row 3 is first with an increase, so we're going to do 2 stitches in the same one. That's 1, 2, and then 1 single crochet in this next one here. And then you want to follow that all the way around. 1 increase, 1 single crochet, and I'll meet you back under the stitch marker. Onto row 4, we are literally just going to do a single crochet into each one. So there's 18 on here at the moment. So 18 single crochets all the way around, and I'll meet you back with the stitch marker. Now for row 5, we only need to add on 2 stitches. So we're going to do 4 single crochets and then an increase, and just repeat that. So we have got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to do our increase in this next one. 1, 2, and our last lot of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're going to repeat the process again. So we need another lot of 4 and then an increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then our increase in this next one. 1, 2, and that should just leave you 4 single crochets left to do. 1, 2, 3, and take the stitch marker out for number 4. Number 4. Okay, row 6, we're going to do an increase to begin with. Oh, stitch marker's not done up. So we're going to do 2 in this first stitch, and then 9 single crochets, And that is all we're doing in this round. Increase 9 single crochets. So I will let you carry on, do your 9 single crochets, another increase, and then 9. So that will take you all the way up to 22 stitches. Row number 8, we are going to, no, sorry, row number 7, we are going to do a decrease. So let's pick up these front 2 loops on the next 2 stitches. We've got 1, 2, pull it through, that's your decrease, and then we're going to do 9 single crochets. So you're going to repeat what you've done before on the previous row, but instead of increasing, we're decreasing. So 1 decrease, 9 single crochets, 1 decrease, 9 single crochets, and I'll meet you at the end. On to row 8, we've got 4 single crochets, decrease 4 single crochets, and we're going to repeat that pattern twice. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'll decrease to the front of the next 2. And then another 4 single crochets. So repeat that twice all the way around, and I'll meet you at the stitch marker. Okay, now on the last row now of the body, and it is just simply 18 single crochets all the way around. So there's 1 single crochet into every stitch, and I will meet you at the end, because then I'll show you what we're going to do with the final bit of thread. Now I've just finished the 18th single crochet. We're going to finish off with a slip stitch, so we just go into the next stitch, pull the yarn through, and then put it through the one that's already on your hook. We need to leave plenty of yarn so that we can sew it onto the head. So I'm just going to snip that in a bit out a little bit, because that will get in the way of what we're going to be doing next. So now we have the body with the head. We need to work out the legs. Okay, so now I've got this wire. I've cut 2 lengths for the legs. Now for the hands, well the arms rather, I just want to go a bit shorter. There's no right or wrong way as to how much you use of this, but as long as both arms and both legs measure similar amounts, that's fine. So that's the wire, and then what we do is with the legs, we fold them in half and squeeze them together. So you'll need a pair of pinchers or something to make it thinner at the end. And then I just use normal black yarn for this one, because I find that it just covers better than the cotton. So we just want to tie a knot onto the end to hold it in place, and then wrap it round going back like so. And you're going to need some of the wire to go into the body, so I'm going to stop about there, cut it, and then tie the 2 ends together this end, just to stop it working its way back down the leg, like so. And then that gets attached to the bottom of the body. So for my legs, I'm gonna work it out. So I want one about here. So if you put your hook in to start the hole off, so you know where it's going, feed the wire in through, like so. Oh, didn't like that. Let's do it a bit bigger with the scissors, just to start it off. That's better. Pop that in before it closes up, like so. And then with the yarn, I generally just pop it on the needle. So I'm going to feed that back into the leg. And feed that piece through, like so. And do the same for the other one. There we go, and then we can tie it on the inside as well to stop it coming off. wire out of the way. Let's do it the other way around, it'd be easier. Maybe I should have left longer lengths and cut it off. There we go. That's that one. You bend them how you want. It just leaves me to do the next leg. Give it a pinch. Like so. Just pinch it together a bit more. That's it. Tie them together. Like so, and then we want to work out around the other side, so I'm looking in the right row here, about there. In the wire. I can get ready doing both at the same time. Like so. And tie those in. Okay, let's just bend this leg as well, because it's going to bend over the bottom of the picture frame. And then you want to twist your wires inside just to hold them together. Just do that with my pliers. And there we have the legs. So we're going to do the same for the arms. Okay, so I've just got the arms ready. We just need to push them into the body. So we're going to come up the side of the leg. And we're going to go in this first row here. So just make a little stretch in it so I can get the wire in. Like so. And again, with my needle to put the threads in. That's 1, 2, oh, I missed one then, pulled it back out. There we have both of them on the inside, and we're just going to tie that like we did with the legs, just to make sure they're not going to fall out. 1, 2, pop the yarn back in, hide that away in a second, and then we're going to work out the other one. So we need to follow this line here across. We're going above the legs, so I'm going to go in this one here. Give it a little bit of a stretch. That one's in. and then to hide the yarn on the inside. Like so. Then we're going to tie these two in. Like so. Again, we need to hide this black yarn inside, and at the same time we need to twist the wires to bend them in so it doesn't come apart. That's one. And bend that one down. To finish it off, we're just going to add some of the stuffing inside to give him a nice firm body. Like so. There we have it. And last thing to do is to sew the head onto the body. So I'm going to bring this one through the next stitch just to keep the body in its right shape, like so. And we're going to work out how we'd like the head. I think that's about right. And what you do is you pick up a stitch or two from on here, like so, and then as you come back into the body you pick up the next stitch to it, like through that way. Oh, got caught around his arm. There we go. And then once you've gone through that one, you come up the next one, so they're hidden in the stitches, like so. Give it a tug. Just keep checking back around the front, make sure you're happy, and then you're going to go to the next one on the head, put it through 2 stitches, and do the same all the way around. So you then go back through the back of the next one, which is here, and then through that one next to it. So they're all going to be hidden. Okay, and I'll meet you back around the front. Okay, I've gone all the way around with my stitching, so the head is firmly on, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lose the yarn through the body, just put it back through a couple of times and then cut it off. Like so. And then when he's ready to go on the frame, you can move his legs into the right position. Okay, so you need to come back once you've made another one, so you have 2 of those. Okay, now I've got my 2 figures. I am going to pop some eyes on them. So what I want to do is to go through one of the larger holes at the back so I can lose my thread. I've just tied a knot in the end of a piece of black thread. And I'm going to go to find out about here. So what I need to do is just to pull that knot inside, like so. It's just popped in. And I'm going to go one here and bring it through that way for the other eye. Oh, we don't want your hand on it, do we? Let's take that off. Like so. And then I'm going to come back up into this one. Just pop it back through the back of the head so I can lose it. Whoops. Okay, there's my eyes, and then I'm going to come all the way back through and I'm going to make this one my man, and he's going to have a bow tie around his neck. So I need to force the needle all the way through into this section here. Like so. And I'm going to be making him, move your arm out the way would help me, a little black bow tie. So I'm literally just going to embroider one on. Call it around his leg. There you go. There we have his little bow tie. And now I'm going to pop that and just lose it through the body to fasten it off. Good job these legs bend. Makes it easier to get the yarn out. There we go. I'll cut that one off for him. And then for our lady, I'm just going to pop eyes on, and then I'm going to make her a veil. Now back to our lady. I'm going to come in the side of this one because it's quite tight, this stuffing in here. As long as I can get my knot in. There we go, it's gone in. So I'm going to come out to here and then up there for the next one. I'll lose it through the back somewhere. There we have it. So we have a man and our lady, and we're just going to work on the veil. Okay, now like I said earlier, I just got a sample off of an eBay website for the veil, because obviously you only need a tiny amount. So I'm going to work out roughly on her head. So I want it about that long. So I'm going to cut up here. Like so. Let's get rid of that bit. And I've just thread a white needle, small piece of white cotton, and I'm going to turn over the edge and I'm going to weave it in and out. So first of all, I just want to attach the yarn so it doesn't get through. There we go, so we're secured quite nicely. And I'm just going to zigzag all the way through so that I can gather it. and it'll have a nice neat edge at the front. Just like so, and pull the cotton through. So we have it all gathered with a neat edge. It's quite fiddly. There we go. Now this needs to be sewn on the top of her head, and at the same time as sewing it I want to incorporate some beads. So I'm literally just going to catch the front bits of this cotton yarn through like that. And at the same time catch another bit of the cotton. There we go, that's her veil on, and I just want to add the beads. Now I've just chosen blue and white for these ones. I'm just going to put 5 little ones on. So just pop it on the needle where you want your edge to be, like so, and take it through to the next one. And then we're going to go for the light blue. And again, pull it through to the next one. This one should really be in the middle. And then the next one will be this light blue. I can pop it on whilst the needle's there. And then my last navy one at the end. Put them all in place before you tighten it off. And just make sure none of the cotton is showing. Like so. And just finish it off. So there we have our bride and groom. So all that's left now is to make the bouquet. I'm going to go ahead and make the bouquet. Now we need to leave a small amount of yarn at the beginning because we need that later on to make the handle. So we're going to start off with our magic circle, like so. We're going to do 6 single crochets into our magic circle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I just want to mark that with my stitch marker, like so. And we're going to close the hole up with a little tug. And then we're going to go back round to our first one. We're going to do 1 single crochet and then we're going to chain 3. So this is our first single crochet, and then straight into a chain of 3. 1, 2, and 3. And with this we're going to go into the next chain, so the next stitch on our loop rather, and get them in. Wants to be a bit tight, this one. There we go. I'm going to repeat that process all the way around. So we're going to do our single crochet here and then a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3, into our next stitch, 1 single crochet, chain of 3, into our next stitch, 1 single crochet and a chain of 3. I've got 3 more left to do. Take out our stitch marker, we don't need that anymore. We're back to the first one here. We're still going to chain 3 because we need to join it to the beginning, which is going to be into here. Finish with a single crochet. Now again, you're going to need a bit of yarn. So that's the front of our bouquet. What we need to do is to get this one down in line with the bottom one. So we just need our needle, and then we're going to make the handle. So I would like this one right down here. So I'm literally going to weave it through the back until it comes to where I need it to be. Get rid of my needle. So that's the front of our bouquet. Now I'm going to make the handle. So what I need to do is to try and pull up a loop. So I'm going to pass this through one of the back stitches, and with one of these threads I'm going to pull up a loop. Let's go for this one, like so. Now to make the actual handle, we are going to wrap one over and pull the other one through both, like so. So this one we wrap over. You need quite a few fingers for this one, or just make sure the yarn is long enough to wrap around your fingers for tension, and pull the other yarn through. So we've got one that goes over and one that comes through, and this is going to make a nice handle effect. One over, pull one through, so it doesn't need to be a long handle. So I think that one's going to be enough. So I literally just pull the thread through, give them a nice tug before you snip them off, and there is our bouquet ready for us to pop our flowers on. So I'm just going to snip the end off of that one. We don't need these bits hanging. There we have it, and we just find the colours to pop on it. Okay, now I just found a few odd bits of yarn that kind of match the colour that we've got in the hair. So we're going to do French knots for these. So you're just going to need a needle, your thread, and we're going to pop a knot in the end to make sure it's big enough that it's not going to fall through. Snip the excess off, And we just do some random French knots. So we come through the back. So you're going to want to put it through quite a tough piece so that it keeps the knot in place, like so. And then you work next to your piece of work. We wrap, I'll try and do it in the air so you can see what I'm doing, but it's always easier to do it on the table. So we're going to wrap the thread around the needle. So it's 2, 3, 4, about 5 times. You need to keep this piece of thread quite taut, and you want to go down quite close to your original hole, but not in your hole, because it needs to anchor it through. Because if you put it through your original hole, then it's going to all come undone. So as you push your needle through, pop a nail on top of the thread so it doesn't move, and gently pull it through. And there we have one flower. So you're literally just going to do some random ones, and we're going to fill in also a bit later with some green for the leaves, and then it looks quite effective. So again, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we want to put this quite close to the other one. Pop your nail on it to hold it in place, and pull it through. It's a tough one. There we go, here it comes. There's our second flower. And just put them randomly wherever you like. And the joy of this is, if you're not happy with it, you just unpick that little bit and just keep going until you're happy with the shape of it. Okay, so I'll let you carry on. Change your colour when you want to do your others and your green, and I'll meet you back. Okay, so here's my finished bouquet. I've gone with 2 blues and a green. Doesn't look too impressive at the back, but you're not going to see that. And then what I intend to do is move the arms closer together, and I pick up a few stitches off of each of the arms to hold it in place, just to sew it in. So it'll look like this when we're finished. So I'm going to go ahead, sew that in place, and then I'll get everything ready to show you how it all assembles together. Okay, now we're going to assemble it all together. I've got my deep box frame here, where I've just removed the clips at the back. So we're going to take it apart, like so. And what I do is I turn this piece over to give you a white background. We do not need the glass, because obviously we're going to have them hanging out the front. So let's get rid of that piece, we don't need that. And then we're going to assemble it back together, making sure that your hanging piece is at the top. Like so. Push all the clips back down. Okay, now I generally use a glue gun for this. So we're going to put them into position where you would like them. But you could also use, I suppose, sticky Velcro, double-sided sticky tape, whatever you would prefer to use. And it's a case of getting them in the right position. That one seems a bit smaller, doesn't he? Let's put the big one up there. And then you'll need to cut the ends to tie them in. Right, so I'm going to go with that configuration. And I'm going to give it a rough idea cutting them here, just until I've stuck them in place. Then I can always trim it again later. And I'll start with this one. And here's my glue gun. So I'm literally just going to put a blob of glue down. It's not hot enough yet, 1 second. Okay, now our glue's nice and hot, so I'm going to move these down. We'll start with this top one and find the best part and keep it facing forward. So literally just a blob of glue and stick it in place. And then you're going to work your way down with the next ones. Just make sure that they all fit in as you do them. So we have another blob. And then keep your threads in the middle. Don't worry about these bits of glue, they all pick off and you won't get to see them. And this last one, I'm going to pop it on the back because I've got loads of wool there and I'm not sure where it's going to end up. There we go. So remove those out of the way. Just make sure there's no excess glue showing through. We're all clear. And then we have our bride and groom. So we're going to pop them in position. Just have a fiddle around with our veil in case it gets in the way. And remember, all your arms and legs are bendy, so you can put them wherever you like. And these bits need to come behind the bride and in line with our gentleman that's going to be holding them. So I think I'm going to do him first. Like so. So I need to pop some glue behind him. So again, I'm going to pop it on him so I don't get it in the wrong place. And then trim up the rest of this wall. Like so. And now for our bride, make sure we're still happy with where she's sitting. She's going to go there. And there we have it. We have our bride and groom. I generally put a message up here. I'll show you in a photograph of one that I have done previously, giving the married name and the date that they got married. And I generally send off for that on either eBay or Etsy for someone who's got like a paper cut. The machine actually does it as stickers. So I just put the direct transfer straight onto it. And it makes a lovely keepsake for a wedding. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you make many of them, and I'll see you in the next video.